Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpattyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Hari Om. Salutations to all. So in this 7th canto, we are seeing the 2nd chapter, and we find here that Hiranyakashipu is consoling his family. The mother of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu is Diti, and the wife, children of Hiranyaksha, the whole family. So Rushabhanu and the mother Diti and everybody. So he is consoling them and he is telling them that it is, the soul does not die, the Atma is imperishable, and also that he was very valiant, Hiranyaksha, and his death one should not grieve. And in this context, he is now giving, he is narrating one incident. So after Shloka 27, he is quoting wise people. Sabhyas Sambhavascha vinashascha shokascha vividha smritaha avivekascha chintacha viveka smritirevacha. So he says that this different types of Sambhavascha vinashascha, yes. So when one is born, when one dies, sambhavascha vinashascha, then grief, shokaha, is of various kinds. And one is born, one dies, takes birth. This cycle will go on, and the scriptures speak about people going through grief in this process. Why? Because they lack discrimination. Avivekascha chintacha. They lack discrimination, then they worry, they have anxiety, and they forget the distinction between matter and the spirit. Viveka asmritirevacha. So in this context, he is quoting the anecdote by wise people. Atra api udaharantim amitihasam puratanam. One ancient anecdote he is going to explain. Whose anecdote is it? Yamasya preta bandhunam samvadam tam nibodhata. It is a conversation between Yamaraj and the relatives of a departed. See, preta, we think preta means some bhoot, ghost. But literally preta means one who has departed. Prakarshena eti itaha gataha is pretaha, one who has gone, meaning dropped the body and moved ahead. So there is one conversation between Yamaraj and the relatives of a departed jiva. That anecdote which wise people generally mention is what he is explaining now. which again goes to show that as an asura, Yes, he was an asura, no doubt, but he had knowledge of information, intellectual knowledge of body being separate, Atma being separate, Punarjanma, as well as the Preta and what is the Gati of the Preta, and then this conversation. So he has studied the Shastra. And we should know that Shukracharya is the guru of the Daityas. And so Shukracharya would have taught. We will see further that Shanda and Amarka, the children, the sons of Shukracharya, they are running the Gurukul also for the Daityas. So Daityas also go study the Veda. It's not that Daityas don't know the Veda, or they are only some demonic type of people. With their people portray them as being very ugly to look at and having some horns and some red tongue, where they're drinking some blood and all that. Asura literally means asushuramate sa asuraha, means prana shakti. Asu is prana here. One who engages only in sense enjoyments, ignoring the fact that there is an Atma and living only as the body, in the body, for the body. Considering pleasure only as the goal of life, does not follow the path of dharma. So asuras, rakshasas, they are those who have that mindset. It's not that they don't accept the existence of Atma, it is not that they don't know about the Atma, they know, but they choose to ignore all that and just live in the body, as the body, for the body. And so now he is explaining that anecdote. In the Ushinara territory, there was a king, Ushinareshwa Bhudraja, Ushinareshu Abhudraja Suyajna iti Vishwataha. One king called Suyajna, very well known by name. Now, Sapatnai Nihato Yuddhe Gnatayas Tamupasata. He was killed in the battle by his enemies, and all his wives, along with the kith and kin, the whole family, they are all lying around him, sitting around him. He is lying in the battlefield, stained with blood, and his jeweled armor was smashed, his ornaments and wreaths of flower have fallen off, his heart is pierced with an arrow, his hair is thrown about in disorder, his eyes have sunk deep, his lotus face is covered with dust, and his weapons and arms are cut into pieces. This is the pitiable state in which his body is lying there. And these relatives, all of them are sitting surrounded there, surrounding that body. Now the wives are seeing this state of the husband, and they are very, very distressed, in sorrow. They are beating their chest and they are violently, hurting themselves, and they are exclaiming that we are lost. Without you, what will we do? And they are weeping loudly and with their tears, as though they are bathing the body of their husband. And their wail is causing lot of sorrow to the people also who have assembled around there. And they are also saying, that providence is merciless, and how Bhagavan has killed this husband of ours. And they are victimizing, saying that you have been reduced, O Lord, you have been reduced to this ashes, to this state of, not ashes literally, but in this pitiable state where his body has been chopped off, it has been cut. So they are wailing, saying, O Lord, you have been reduced to a state of existence beyond the range of our sight. As a king, he was the provider of life, provides protection, assistance, prosperity, all that. Once upon a time you were the giver of all these to all, and now you are lying in this lifeless state. So they are wailing, saying, how can we live without you? You are our dearest friend. You were disposed to appreciate whatever was done to you by the way of service. So please let us also die with you. We will also follow the place where you will go. Now they are lamenting in this way, holding that body of their husband, and they don't want his body to be taken and the cremation to be done, and they are obviously, now sorrow is there, but now time is passing and they are just not willing to let go of their sorrow and let the body be cremated. And as the sun is gradually setting, now it is said here that hearing this lament and this kind of an attachment, Yamaraj himself comes there in the form of a small child and he addresses them. So from 37th shloka is the address of Yamaraj. Yama uvacha Aho amisham vayasadhikanam vipashyatam loka vidhim vimohaha yatra gatas tatra gatam manusyam swayam sadharma api shochayantyapa yatra gatas tatra gatam manusyam swayam sadharma api shochayantyapartham. So Yamaraj is saying, look at the infatuation of these people. He has come as a child. So he is saying, these are all vayasadhikanam. They are much elder to me. Meaning, with age, one is supposed to have more experience and wisdom and vairagya also. Having seen the temporary nature of life. So he is actually taunting them, saying, look at these people who are much greater, much elder to me in age, vayasadhikanam, vipashyatam loka vidhim vimohaha, and look at their vimoha, delusion. These people are supposed to be able to perceive the world, have more understanding and experience, but yatra gatas tatra gatam manusyam, whoever comes will go from here. This is the nature of this world. Nobody will be here permanent. Every moment, even while we are here, we are, in the Gita 2nd chapter, there are only two classifications. Gatasun, agatasunscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Asu means again prana. Gata-asu, meaning whose pranas have departed. Gata asun. Agata-asu, meaning whose prana has not yet departed. See that expression. He is not saying ki living and dead. Whose prana has departed and whose prana is departing. So that's the fact. Our life is like that candle, goes on diminishing. So is gata asun, agata asun. Only two categories. Now if we say living and dead, then the mind creates a delusion saying ki, oh, this is, we live as though we are never going to die, and we die as though we have never lived. That's the delusion, that's the vimoha. So this mind creates all this delusion. Hence he says here that look at them wailing. Yatra agataha tatra gatam manusyam. And everybody will go, everybody will depart. We all are equal in that sense. And so when this is the natural state, they are wailing for somebody who has gone back to the source. Yatra gatas tatra gatam manusyam swayam sadharma api shochayanti apartham. They will also meet the same fate. And one who has gone, they are wailing for that person. So the point is, that no doubt death can cause sorrow, there can be problem, one misses that person, but also the fact is that person came to exhaust certain karmas, finished, has gone. If somebody does a certain work, suppose you go to a particular city for a project for 4 days, when you finish and you come back, that is success now of that visit. You go there, finish project for 4 days, come back, over. So people come here, exhaust their certain karmas, and then they go. And where they go? Back to continue their journey. And for that these people are wailing, he is saying here. Aho vayam dhanyatama yadatra tyakta pitribhya navicintayamaha abhakshyamana abala vrikadibhihi sarakshita rakshati yohi garbhe. Very beautiful line, last part especially. Sarakshita rakshati yohi garbhe. He alone truly protects. Who is protecting us in the womb? That Bhagavan alone is the true protector. So he says that blessed are we who have no anxiety. He has taken the form of a small child, not that the small child does not have anxiety. At one level, yes, the child, some of them don't know what is death, etc. So that ignorance is bliss in that sense. But here it is not just that small child. Small child is also symbol of purity. And so this purity of mind, when one has, then one is able to see the truth as it is. Ki bhai, life is temporary. People will come, people will go. We will also meet the same fate. One who accepts it and makes the best use of the opportunity. He says, blessed are we. We have no anxiety. And who are not being devoured by wolves and other carnivorous animals, though weak and forsaken here by our parents. Meaning what? Abhakshyamana abala vrikadibhihi. See, here he is saying, in the forsaken here by our parents. Meaning, parents have departed or gone. Or sometimes children get abandoned by parents. They may be living but abandon the child. A child is alone, small child, he is helpless. Then who is protecting that child? Bhagavan only the true protector. Yes, through karma, through some people, etc., he may protect, no doubt. But who protected that child who was abandoned by the parent? How many children grow up orphans? How many children grow up where their parents die in their childhood? Now who protects them? Who brings them up? Again, this point is not to say that, okay, even if parent abandon, the karma of the child will take care or Bhagavan will take care, so parents can abandon. That's not the point. Point is what? That who is the true protector? We forget that Bhagavan. And then one is wailing, weeping. So he is saying here that Sarakshita Rakshati Yohi Garbhe. The true protector is one who protects us in the womb. Whatever medicine the mother may take, proper nutrition she may take, exercises she may do, the jiva goes through so much in that womb. In all ways, the body has to be formed properly, nutrition has to happen, samskar that the mother is having, what all she is going through in her daily life, in her mind, through experiences. Does she have any spiritual background, samskars? So many factors. And that womb has to be safely protected. Anything can happen. The child may, miscarriage can happen in so many ways. Who is the one protecting in the womb? He's saying we forget that Supreme Lord. Ya ichchayeshaha सृजतीदम अव्ययो य एव रक्षति अवलुम्पते च यः तस्या बलाः क्रीडनमाहुरीशितुः चराचरम निग्रह संग्रहे प्रभुः. These are very nice shlokas, maybe long and sometimes difficult to chant, etc. But what beautiful thoughts are there in this that can help us to strengthen our Shraddha in Bhagavan. So he is saying that Bhagavan is our protector, and oh wise ladies, the wise people, oh ladies, they call the inanimate and the animate creation as a mere play of that Supreme Lord. The whole Srishti, Characharam, whole Srishti is like a game in the hands of that Supreme Lord who has created this whole Srishti just by his will. Ya Ichcha Yesha, Ya Ichcha Yesha. That Isha, that Supreme Lord, just by his will created this whole Srishti, and who he alone truly protects it also, and he alone is the one in whom it will go back also, and that Supreme Lord is imperishable, meaning that imperishable Lord from whom everything rises, in whom it stays, who protects it and whom it goes back. That is the source, meaning each of us are imperishable. That's what he is saying actually. One is Bhakti Bhav, saying that Bhagavan is the true protector. Second is Jnana, that we came from where? From Bhagavan. Our nature is infinity, our nature is immortality, and this body is perishable. Why are we stuck with that body? And then why lamenting? Earlier Canto you saw how that parents were lamenting, that Chitraketu, for that one son they had, who was poisoned and killed by the other queens, and this Chitraketu lost his son, and both the father and mother were so devastated. And then Naradji brings back that Jiva, and the Jiva says, parents of which Janma? The Jiva is so clear, that I have taken many births and I have got many parents. Now which parent are you talking about? And I have a karma gati to handle, so I have to go ahead. So even as a Jiva, each one is in their own journey. Body is perishable, body will lie here only. Atma is that which is imperishable, that is our true nature. Until we don't realize that Atma, life will go round and round in the cycle of birth and death. So he says that Supreme Lord who created it by his sheer will, who alone protects it and who though imperishable destroys it, because he is only competent to maintain and dissolve it. So one should remember this. Now he comes to the third standpoint. See, one Bhakti standpoint he said, Bhagavan is the one who protects. Second Jnana standpoint he says, this is the source from where we came and we go back to that, and that's our nature. Now Karma standpoint he says, what does he say? He says here that Pathichutam Tishtati Drishta Rakshitam Grihe Sitam Tad Vihatam Vinashyati Jivatyanaathopi Tadikshito Vane Grihepi Guptosya Hatona Jivati. Look at that. Very simple, powerful. But we have to remember this. What does he say? He says that a thing which is protected can be dropped on the road. Let us say you drop something and vehicles are going. If it is protected, if it is the karma of that thing, destiny, nothing will happen to it. And that which by its karma is destined to perish, it can be safe at home, but it will get destroyed. It can apply to thing or being. Don't we see that happening? How miraculously people survive such accidents. And people sitting at home, very safe and secure in their home, suddenly one missile attack, gone. Or anything, they slip in the bathroom, die. Think. Because the karma is over, now anything will happen. Anything will happen meaning what is destined in their karma, that how the body has to die, that will happen. In the safety, so-called safety of the home. So where is true safety? The another analogy he gives is Jivati Anathopi. Somebody who is abandoned, orphaned, that Jiva also, Tadikshito Vane. In the forest, somebody may abandon that Jiva, and in the forest is so difficult to survive. In that terrible forest also, if somebody's karma is there, they have been abandoned, but because of their karma, they will live there. And grihepi guptosya hato na jivati. And somebody who is guarded, very well guarded at home, if the karma is over, nobody will protect. That person will not survive, will die. How many people are there in hospital, so many doctors and whatever equipment and everything can be there to protect that jiva, but when the time of the jiva has come, one will just go. So one can do what one has to do at the hospital to take care of that jiva, but when the time has come, jiva has to go, the jiva will go, nobody can stop. So 3 standpoints he has explained, one by one quickly. Then he says that bodies of all the beings, they will come into being and they will perish. How? Based on karma, it is not randomly happening. Kalena bhavanti sarvashaha. And he says here that Atma is completely different from this body. Na tatra hyatma prakritavapi sthitaha tasya gunair anyatamo nibadhyate. So the Atma is very different and it is not bound by the properties and the qualities of the body. Even though it is functioning through the body, it is not affected by it. It is alipta, it is asanga. And this body is born, why? We say karma, but why karma? Because we trace it back, that ignorance of the jiva. Idam shariram purushasya mohajam yatha prithak bhautikam iyate graham. Because of ignorance, one feels incomplete, one identifies with the body, then one has desires, and to fulfill the desires, one does karma, and each karma will give rise to more desires, and then new bodies to fulfill those desires. Now this is going on, all because of ignorance. And what is the ignorance? That I am different, I am limited, I am finite, I don't know who am I, my nature is Paramanand, no idea. Now I am stuck, identifying with the jiva, with the limited. And so he says here that just like a house it is, this body is only like a house. The house is different from the indweller. One sutra which says sanghatasya pararthatvat. Any sanghata, assemblage, is for someone else. It is not for itself. Like if you put the example of the house. So the brick and the cement and the iron and everything you put together and build one house. That house is for the indweller of the house. House is not for itself. Same way this body is like one house, made up of various elements, 5 elements. It is for the indweller. That indweller is different from the house. Now if somebody says house is same as indweller, that's the example he has given here, that it is different, like an object made up of, so this is the next analogy. The body is born due to the ignorance of the jiva. It is different because it is perceived as such and is material as a house. It is different. Then he gives examples from the elements. So he says that like an object made up of aqueous, earthy or fiery atoms, meaning earth, fire, water, with that this body is made, just like the house is made from different elements. Then he says the body made up of atoms of earth, water, fire, gets transformed in the course of time and ultimately perishes. The house also is there having some, um, limited time period. One can do plastering, this, that, but after a point it will collapse. Then new house is built. Same way this body has its own karma, it will go through and at one point it will perish, but the jiva, the atma identified with that one body is jivatma. That jivatma will go. So it is very different. Then he says another example of the fire. So he says the fire existing in the pieces of wood is observed to be distinct from the wood pieces. It is there in unmanifest form in the wood, but it is there. And when that is invoked, it will burn the whole wood itself. Meaning, that is the analogy given to say that how, though the fire is not visible, but it is there in unmanifest form. In that same way, this body is functioning. It appears as though it is functioning on its own, and there is no Atma, consciousness, and that consciousness is not some object which is visible. But he says, just like that fire is there in that wood, in that way consciousness is there in this, and it is different. Just like the fire and the wood are different. Again, a similar example he gives for the air. The air is existing everywhere, outside the body as well as inside the body, and yet it is separate. And space also pervades everywhere, does not cling to any substance. In that way, the spirit also doesn't get attached to anything. It is the foundation of everything, yet it is attached to nothing, and it is different from it. And so, having given this knowledge, he says, indeed, O fools, here lies the body called Suyajna, that you are lamenting. But he who was hearing, speaking, tasting, smelling, touching through this body, you have never seen that jiva at all. You have only seen the body. Who has seen Jivatma? Nobody has seen. In the sense, people go on asking, have you seen God? Have you seen God? So have you seen Jivatma? वो पहले बताओ. Who has seen Jivatma? We are seeing only dhacha, a body. See, in the house, that house analogy is simple, very nice one in this context. So in a house, suppose you go to meet your friend at his home. Now you will go and meet, so the house is different, that friend is different, so you are able to see, na? You can see that friend, you can meet, contact, speak. But when we meet somebody as an individual jiva, we are seeing only the house, the body, that indweller. Through the senses only we are able to contact and connect. Nobody can see that jiva, because that jiva by itself has no form. Jiva itself is formless, and that jiva is that subtle body, 19 elements of the subtle body plus vasana plus ignorance, 21 items, subtle body, causal body. That is functioning through this. So he is saying here that Nashrota Nanuvaktayam Mukhyo api atra Mahanasuhu Yastvi Hendriyavan Atma Sachanya Prana Dehayoho. One who is the Indriyavan, the one who is holding all these senses and all that, that jiva is different from the prana, from the indriya, from the sharira, from the the 5 elements, is very different. This is jnana drishti. This can't be shown outside. Imagine, jivatma itself cannot be shown, and these people are asking, show me God. How will you show God? How will you show infinite consciousness? It's not an object. You should ask, have you seen God? Ask, have you seen yourself? I have seen. How? You are seeing eyes which are reflection of, you are seeing only reflection. Actual eye, physical eye itself we have not seen. Nobody can see their own eye. We are not able to see the jiva only. Forget ourselves, the dusra jivatma also we can't see. Only body we are seeing. I was going on asking, show me God, I am very scientific in mind. And then you show me one individual first. वो दिखाओ पहले. कोई जीवात्मा दिखाओ. No, no, Swamiji, we do that, whatever that, planchet and all that and medium, and then they call that jiva and then they're writing on that. All that is met through the body, one is doing something. Show the jiva. यानी वो डाल के दिखा देते हैं भूत प्रेत पिशाच उसको बॉटल में बंद कर दिया. That you show all that you see in the movie, ठीक है. At some level one may be able to do some kind of aura and this and that and connect to the subtle body. We are not saying subtle body doesn't exist, jivatma doesn't exist, but the context here is what? That jivatma you have never contacted and you are grieving for what? The body, and the body is perishable. You have only contacted through that body the jivatma. The jivatma has dropped the body and gone. So he is saying here that jivatma, he however who was the hearer and the speaker in this body could never be seen even before. So where have you seen that jiva? You have now never seen. Na drishyate karhichit. Nor is the great vital principle, meaning jivatma one has not contact, one has not seen. Then that which is atma, which is manifesting as jivatma in this one body, that though anyway is not an object of perception, but it is different. It is there. It exists. This is which is the foremost, the hearer or the speaker. And as for the soul, which while remaining in a body is endowed with the senses, different from the vital principle as well as from the body, is that supreme consciousness. So, when one understands this, then what is the grief? Only body is lying here, which was never that jiva. That was only a equipment. That jiva has gone ahead, and the atma, which is all pervasive, is imperishable anyways. So if you actually think, what does one grieve for? See, no doubt this is an intellectual inquiry, but if one actually thinks straight and clear, then lot of this delusion will go away. One will accept that this was a jiva who did some karma, I had some karmic bond with this jiva, so we had some connection. Now that experiences are over, the jiva is departed. Now I have to move on in my journey. Now how long will I get associated with the memory of that person and reliving those memories? They come, no doubt. Nothing wrong in that. But one can't just lose oneself in that. One has to move on, accept it. Why this happened, and this is the temporary nature of the world. I am also going to drop one day like this. Jivas are coming, going. And what is the point of seeing all this? What is that which is permanent? I have to know that. Then freed from this whole delusion. Otherwise one goes round and round in this. So he's saying ki understand this, that the Atma is different, infinite. Then there is a Jivatma which is taking new bodies, and the body is only one physical apparatus that has been dropped. So this supreme spirit, all pervading spirit, that is different from the body, accepts bodies of various kinds. Higher yonis, lower yonis, all. Based on the karma, it will take up a body based on, made from 5 elements, and it will have indriyas, it will have the mind. But eventually it has to drop all the identifications. Identification to all the 3 bodies, gross, subtle, causal body, and realize that my nature is infinite. So he says that action proves to be a source of bondage only so long as the jiva stands identified with a subtle body. See that. Yaval linganvito hyatma tavat karma nibandhanam. As long as I think I am the jiva, this is my karma, I am the karta, I have to experience the karma phala, I want to fulfill this desire, for that I am acting and I deserve this result. Now that karma bandhan comes because of karta bhav and bhokta bhav. Why does karta bhav, bhokta bhav? Identification with the subtle body. Yeah, I am this Mr. So and so. Tato viparyaya kleshaha maya yogo anuvartate. And hence, because of this identification, then what happens? All the downfall of that jiva happens. Attachments, aversions, cycle of birth, death, all that will happen. And one becomes miserable. From a higher standpoint, that is an illusion only. Like how the jiva goes through, the waker goes through the whole dream world, and in that dream world one dream character is going through some misery in that dream world. That dream character is illusory, dream world is illusory, dream creator is illusory. What is happening? Waker is lying on the bed, nothing has happened. But this knowledge is not there. So he says this is the knowledge that one has to have. To look upon the three gunas or to speak of them as real, this is false. This is false possession, he says. Yatha manoratha swapnaha sarvamaindriyakam mrisha. Same dream example he gives. The whole dream world, everything is mrisha, it is false, it is unreal. In that way this whole world is. So what do the knowers of truth do? Atha nityam anityam va neha shochanti tadvidaha. Beautiful line. They don't grieve for the temporary or the permanent. Meaning what? That which is temporary, there is nothing to grieve, it is anyway temporary. And that which is permanent is imperishable. What to grieve for that? That's why he says that. So the knowers of the truth grieve neither for that which is abiding nor for that which is transient. Because who died? Actually, who died? Nobody died. Body was already dead. It is made up of 5 elements which are Jadavastu. It is already dead. But is appearing alive because of subtle body functioning through this. And the subtle body is enlivened by jiva, by the consciousness. So that subtle body is what we call Jivatma, was living through this gross body, which is it is just like a house, inert thing. Now when that indweller went, that Jivatma dropped the body, that house came back to, that body came back to its natural state, which is Jadavastu, so it will appear lifeless, dead, inert, and obviously by nature's laws it will start decaying. It will go back to 5 elements. Did that body die? No, that body did not die, because that body didn't have its own capability of life at all. So where will it die? It was already dead by itself. How you say like that, Swamiji? Arey, you read the Upanishads, you read even the medical history, science today. When the child is growing in the womb, for about 2.5 months, it is growing only as a part of the mother's body. It does not have its own life, heartbeat, subtle body, kuch nahi hai udhar. Then that association happens. Then that jiva is born. Then jiva thinks, I am Mr. So and so. It was not, it was just an equipment which the jiva took. And when the body dropped, the jiva departed. So the jiva is existing in preta sharira or wherever, whichever loka in that particular sharira. So the jiva did not die. Body was already dead, so body can't die. Atma is imperishable. So who died? Nobody died. But we are mourning, grieving. Why? Because of ignorance and attachment that we have formed with that jiva. We mourn for ourselves actually. We mourn for that, ki bhai, this person went, now I will miss the person. And again, it is nothing wrong or unnatural, it is natural to have that grief, but one has to have vivek and get out of it, delusion. That is what he is trying to tell them, because they are trying to end their life. See that the wives are saying, we will also come with you. Because Vivek is not there, emotions will totally overwhelm, and then ignorance, one is not recognizing, emotions are overwhelming, and in that one wrong decision. So Yamaraj himself came out of compassion and is telling all this to them. The knowers of truth will not grieve for that which is permanent and that which is transient. Either of them don't deserve grief. You know that you are going to be in the aeroplane for, let us say, 6 hours. You are flying from here to wherever, London, suppose, just example. After 6 hours, you will have to leave the, what is that, aeroplane. And you will alight from there and go to the destination. Will you cry? Oh, no, I don't want to leave this aeroplane. Arey bhai, that was a tool. You came from one place to another. Now you leave that, go next place. Khatam baat, ho gaya. We came to this world, sitting in this aeroplane. We did some journey. Now the time has come to leave that. Go ahead. We have to go. But when one doesn't have this clarity, then one will grieve. So he says, wise people, the knowers of the truth, don't grieve, nor can the nature of those who are given to grieving be changed. See that. Nanyatha shakyate kartum svabhava shochatam iti. See, this is not a hopeless statement saying कि तो फिर क्या होगा Swamiji, how will we become knowers of truth? It is not a hopeless statement. The statement is meant for what? Ki those who are not ready to open their minds. See, difficult times like death can be big wake-up calls also. Again, I am saying this is not to hurt anybody, cause pain to anybody by ridiculing them for their sorrow that they go through when somebody departs, or by looking down upon them, or by dismissing their sorrow as all fools do it. And there is no such intent. The point is very simple. If I use that opportunity to wake me up, then I can use that to invoke Vivek, Vairagya, and come to the state of knowers of truth, where there is no grief for the living or for the those who are that which is permanent and that which is temporary. One may even see a Jivan Mukta expressing grief. So grief and expression of grief is not a problem. But to think that is all life is, ki now I am devastated, now I am not able to move on, now I feel that why this happened to me, that one should drop. In the understanding of this big picture, whatever Yamaraj is saying is brilliant. Again, sometimes it may not be appropriate to tell this at that point in time when they are in such deep emotional disturbance, and so their receptivity may not be there. Depends on each case, one has to figure out. Maybe after some time, some days, make them understand, and some people know also. It's just a question of acceptance, and sometimes acceptance takes time. Very, very close relationships may even take more time. It's all right, but one should come to that acceptance and learn to move ahead, because we are on our journeys. Each of us is individual jiva, and how Gurudev used to say, from alone to alone, all alone is our journey. From alone, small a, that is from ego, to alone, capital A, Kaivalya Sthiti. It is our path to realize our true nature. So if one has understood that, then one will come to terms with it. If one is not ready for it, for them it is said here that the nature of those who are given to grieving can't be changed. It is only for those who are very adamant and they don't want to change. And sometimes they hurt themselves, harm themselves also because of that attachment. So Yamaraj says all this, and he gives one analogy. So what is this analogy here? So once there is a hunter, and it is as though appointed by death, personified as the killer of birds in the forest. So he saw one pair of Kulinga birds, this hunter, and he captured the female bird. Now seeing that female bird in danger, and this male bird was not able to do anything to release that female bird. Now this male bird is lamenting. What is the male bird lamenting? Evam Kulingam Mithunam Tatra Vicharat Samadrishyata Tayo Kulingi Sahasa Lubdakena Pralobhita. So this hunter captured. Now this bird, male bird, tried, not able to release, and so sorry. What is the male bird lamenting? Aho akaruno devaha striya akarunaya vibhuhu kripanam manushocantya deenaya kim karishyati. See, he is lamenting. What is he lamenting? What will this merciless providence do with my wife? See that. Oh, what will the mighty yet merciless providence do with my wretched wife, pitiable in every way and grieving for my miserable self? Kamam nayatu mam devaha kimardhen atmano hime dinena jivata dukkham anena vidurayusha. So he is saying ki instead of her, let that merciless providence take me as well. For what is the use to me of this wretched body surviving miserably and dragging a desolate existence when my other half has been snatched away? Now they have small young ones also. So he is saying that my youngs of poor luck await in the nest for their mother. Who will bring food for them? How will I nourish them without the mother? Hidden close by and impelled by death, the same fowler pierced with an arrow the male bird. Simply this male bird was grieving, became a sitting duck, and the arrow pierced this male bird. Sore with the separation from its beloved mate and wailing thus, its throat choked with tears. Not foreseeing your own death and lamenting your husband in this way, you foolish women will not be able to get him back even in hundreds of years. Yamaraj finally gave the hard truth, saying you may go on lamenting, he will not come back. In hundreds of years you will not get. Like that female bird, this male bird tried to get, nothing, you can't get. And in that he lost his life also. Now these young ones are orphaned. Mother also gone, father also gone. What is the point here? Don't stretch the example too much. The point here is to understand this. Each jiva has their own karma and they will go. One has to move on in life. Take time to accept it and move on, but one has to move on. And so Hiranyakashipu has explained this much. This anecdote he explained to the Rishabhanu and then the mother Diti and the other children of Hiranyaksha and all the family members. And so Hiranyakashipu says, this small child, now he concludes, Bala evam pravadati sarve vismita chetasaha. Everybody is in, wonderstruck that what did he say? Wow. Jnatayo menire sarvam anityam ayathothitam. So all the relatives of this king, they also realize that yes, what he is saying is true, everything is transient, it is unreal. And Yama etad upakhyaya tatraivantar adhiyata. Yamaraj, having said all this, and by his grace they understood, Yamaraj went away. Gnatayopi Suyajnasya Chakrur Yat Samparayikam. And so when he disappeared, they did what has to be done appropriately, because the cremation and all the the antyeshti karma, that pindadan, tarpan, all that brahmana bhoja, all that has to be done for this jiva to move ahead, and for the people also to get a suitable closure, learn to accept, and then move on. So the relations of Suyajna to perform what was conducive to his future. Now this where the anecdote ends. And what is Hiranyakashipu consoling his parents, his mother? Tata shochata mayuyam param chatmanam evacha ka atma kap paro vatra sviya parakya evava. So he concludes saying ki don't grieve for another or even for yourself. See that Hiranyakashipu has that much of knowledge ki you are also imperishable Atma only. Don't even grieve for yourself, don't grieve for others. Tata shochata ma yuyam param cha atmanam eva cha, for you also. Why? Because if you think that you are the jiva, this is all because of ignorance, then you will suffer. Ka atma ka paro vatra. Otherwise, where is the difference? Yeah, I am separate, you are separate, others are separate. Sviya parakya evava. There is no difference between my own and others. This is all Atma Jnana is giving, but he will still have dvesha against Vishnu Bhagavan. Wants to kill Vishnu. That goes to show how much purity of mind is required. Swaparabhi niveshena vijnananena vinajnanena dehinam. So he says that when this knowledge is not there, then one thinks I am the jiva, then one separates oneself from the others, then one goes through sorrow. Drop all this. Don't grieve for yourself or for others. What was said earlier by Yamraj, wise people don't grieve for the living or for the dead, means for the temporary or for the permanent. He says the same thing, you don't grieve. Know the Atma is imperishable, know the jiva also was valorous, and Hiranyaksha, he fought valiantly, and body is there. Now what to do with that? It is anyway a equipment. It has served its purpose, so don't grieve. Now, having heard this speech of Hiranyakashipu, Diti and the daughter-in-law, all of them, they gave up the sorrow for the son Hiranyaksha, and they fixed their mind on the highest truth. Tatve chittam adharayat. See that. Putra shokam kshanat tyaktva. Instantly they gave up the putra shoka and set their mind on Bhagavan. On the highest truth is given here. Now what happens? This Hiranyakashipu will go to do tapasya. That we will see in our next class. Next class will be, as I have given the dates, on 22nd. 8th and 15th we don't have a class. On 22nd we will do. Any questions for today? Yes.
Hari Om Swamiji, can you hear me?
Yes.
So even this desire to be realized, is this based on our last karma that we will get realization, or your karma will only give you the desire to be realized?
See, karma can give you the desire, karma can bring the satsang, of course, Bhagwan's kripa, and the guru and the shastra and the ability to do sadhana, all that is born out of past karma, punya karma one has done, and kripa Bhagwan, then one will get. But then purushartha one has to do here and now. Like all that knowledge that Diti and the daughter-in-law, they all got from Hiranyakashipu, but then they have to put in the effort to abandon the sorrow. Even that Suyajna's relatives and the wives, etc., they accepted what Yamraj said as a child, and then they actually let go of their sorrow and did the Antyeshti karma and everything. So past karma can bring us those environments, but what we do with that is our purushartha now. Some people get satsang also, but they don't utilize it, and then they fall more and more. So it is up to us how we utilize it.
Okay, so the fact that we are listening to all these satsangs is past karma. Now it's in our hand, our own purushartha if you want to be realized. The last leap is your own effort.
Yes.
So Swamiji, when people commit suicide also, is it the karma only that they were meant to die like that?
Who knows that? Only Ishvara knows that they were meant to die like that. Now, if they died after that, one may always say that they were meant to go like that. But the person who is making that choice, Shastra will tell to that person ki don't be a fool, don't do this. You are squandering a big opportunity. Do sangharsha. You cannot escape from karma. If you try to escape from it and you try to end your life now, that karma will still carry on. And of course, we also know ki how many people attempt suicide, but they are not able to die because karma is not yet over. So, and nobody knows what is their karma. So, when Purushartha has to be put, Shastra will always say that suicide etc. should not be entertained, should not be done, and it is wasting a big opportunity. When the human life comes next, one doesn't know. But now if somebody did and वो उस तरह से ही वो गए, after that only one can say कि भाई ठीक है, that was how the destiny was for them to go, and then learn to accept it and pray for their sadgati and do your karma here.
Okay, thank you, Hariom. Thank you, Swamiji.
Hariom Swamiji.
Yeah.
In first, I'll think like whatever I think in the connection with the what she said about the suicide. So there were the according to the past karma, the person got the atmosphere that the person could not bear the pain. But in the present, if the person would think right and choose right, then that can be avoided. And as per, of course, as per the karma's result, also that you are going to die like that or what. But it is the present, what we choose. So
Correct.
that is one thing. And other thing I wanted to ask, like I got little confused with the you said that in the house, like when a person goes to meet, that that just incidents. Can you tell me again what did you say
See,
about?
in the home when you go, you are able to see the person in the house, na?
Ha ha
But whoever, like there's a father, mother, children, friend, whoever, you are able to
yeah
meet the person there.
ha
But this body, which is the house, are you
ha
seeing the indweller? You are not seeing the indweller. You are only seeing the senses.
ha.
You are
Right,
only seeing the, like if you see the house analogy, you are seeing the window, you are seeing the door, you are seeing some
ha
sound coming from there, some light coming from there, some, you are not seeing, there's no,
right.
the entity inside, we are not directly able to perceive, no?
So connect with the indweller.
Yeah, the indweller you can't connect only, that indweller is invisible actually.
Ah, right. Okay.
You, if you
That I
do,
got
if you go deeper into that analogy, na,
ah
suppose you
ha
go to a house जिसमें you can't see anybody but दिखता है सब, I mean उसमें से आवाज आता है, actions होता है,
Bhoot
what
Pret
will you think?
Manse.
You will think it is अरे भूत बंगला है ये,
So true.
this body,
Right.
ये body like
It's
that, like
so
भूत
beautiful.
बंगला, ये भूत बंगला है भाई, और हम सोच रहे हैं कि कोई भूत है क्या, अरे तुम खुद भूत हो.
That's
You are a
so
living,
beautiful.
what do you call that? You are a living mobile haunted house.
Right.
फनी है ना एकदम. इट इज मोबाइल हॉन्टेड हाउस
Yeah,
एंड देन वी आर
very.
सर्चिंग कौन भूत है दिखाओ, अरे यू आर द प्रूफ ऑफ भूत.
So true.
बहुत ही विचित्र है ये. इफ यू द मोर आई थिंक ऑफ दैट नॉलेज इट इज सो फनी. इट इज सेइंग अरे क्या है ये. The entity is not visible only, and this invisible entity, this jiva, is going on
Yeah.
asking, show me God, show me God. I won't believe if I don't see. तो तू पहले दिखा, अपने आप को दिखा पहले.
So true.
See that Maya, na, how it is.
I know.
Right,
But when we go to house, anybody's house, if it clicks in our mind that time, this example, it can really give that deep impact on us, our mind.
correct.
Thank you very much, Sami.
Hari Om. Let's do the Arati.
मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति धूम की, मंगल कांति हसनी दसनन की, मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की, मंगल आरती। मंगल बनिक त्रिभंगी हरि की, मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की, मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की, मंगल छवि नयन में अटकी, मंगल आरती। पभी अंग अंग की, मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की, मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की, मंगल चितमणि नागर नट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की, मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की, मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी, मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की, मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की, मंगल जुगल प्रिया भावन की, मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की, मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति डोल की, मंगल आरती। मंगल आरती। राधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम्, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। हरि ओम।